We already are. We already are. And just be mindful.
All right. How to analyze construction options. Hello, my name is Coach Rue, and welcome to LEARNin Local Live. All right. Happy Friday, everybody.
Hey.
What is going on? Another Friday, another amazing LEARNin Local Live show.
Yes.
Starring so many subject matter expert professionals, but today we're going to be talking about construction. And by the way, Adib, when I was investing, full-time investor back in the recession days, I wish I had known you, but now I know you. I know you now, but it's all good. High time 2020, right?
That's right. That's right.
Mr. Adib Mahdi is going to be handling our insights section for the show. Of course, we have Martin Magana from Oak Rock Realty, bringing the off-market deal today, and we have Tracy Hassey from Tycor. Thank you so much for being the events host. Really, really appreciate you. So, if this is the first time you are tuning in to LEARNin Local Live, you're in for a treat. LEARNin Local Live is the very first live podcast promoting subject matter experts in the real estate field, and we talk about insights, deals, and events that are happening in the area. In this case, San Diego, California. The purpose of us being here is to educate, empower, and inspire real estate professionals. Well, not necessarily real estate professionals, people who want to be in real estate, people who want to be real estate entrepreneurs. This show is for folks who are interested in investing for their first time, or maybe even interested in doing their 100th investment. We're really here to provide education for anyone in the specific, anyone who's interested, who's being an entrepreneur. As we all know, real estate is the number one path to building wealth. And, all our professionals here today are going to make sure that you get the education, get the inspiration, and the empowerment that you need to get started on your journey. So how do we do this? Well, we connect, collaborate, and create with other subject matter expert professionals, namely these folks that you see here today. We wouldn't have a show without you amazing folks. So how's your Thanksgiving break? Are you ready to end the year amazing, guys? How's it feeling?
Absolutely. And being on this show with you, Coach Rue, Adib, Martin, and all the local influencers we have today, and every show is the best way to top off the week and really empower those out there investing in real estate, whether it's your first property or your 100th. It doesn't matter. You're going to gather a nugget of wisdom. Right, guys?
I'm super excited about this week because I think construction is the single most important part of whatever project you're doing in real estate, especially on the flip side, because that's kind of where you can make or break a deal because you didn't budget for it correctly, or you went with the wrong people, or you just didn't know what you were doing, and that's how you could just lose all your money, and that's where most deals tend to go wrong.
Yeah, and especially in San Diego. We know real estate in San Diego is tricky to buy it right, so that you can put the right dollars in it to make it worthwhile and a worthy investment. So getting down to my corner of the world where you have to get that thing and build it right or design it right or whatever is very, very important. I wish we'd had this 20 years ago. This is just incredible that this is available. And we're volunteers.
Technology makes it available.
Yes.
So if this is the first time tuning in, again, we are in our fourth installment of the LEARNin Local Challenge. The first week was just wrapping your head around why real estate and what strategy that you might want to execute. The second week was about getting the financing correct and in place. The third week was featuring not only the man himself, Martin Magana, talking about finding a good deal and what that means. And now we're in our fourth week. And like everyone said, construction is such a big part of what real estate investors have to get themselves involved in. So it's going to be an amazing show. But before we dive into it, I want to allow the production team here to introduce themselves so you can get a better idea of who they are. So first with me. So again, my name is Ruben, Coach Ru Austria. I am the coach because I am here to coach other real estate professionals how to appear their best self on camera. I have a vision that real estate or really anything that anyone buys in the future will be done on live video. And we are the first network making sure that we create trusted individuals and subject matter experts that consumers and investors out there can really trust and really be a part of. So I've been able to share my vision with not only these amazing folks that you're going to hear from next, but a great foundation of folks where we're going to actually get our beta, and we're going to go real time next year. So it's going to be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm super excited to be here. So next we have Miss Tracy Hassey. Please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Ru. So honored to be a part of the show and honored to be a part of Tycourt Escrow Services. I am a super connector, and why am I with Tycourt Escrow Services? Because they are a Fortune 300 company. They maintain a $1.7 billion in claims reserves, providing unmatched financial security and protection, coupled with the top escrow experts in the industry. So let me ask you a question. How are you safeguarding your real estate deals? Let's talk. I'm here for you as a resource and can share some critical insights to protect your real estate deals, to bring your dream to fruition, to that finish line, and celebrate. So once again, Tracy Hassey, Super Connector, Tycourt Escrow Services. Cheers to your success.
All right. Always great to have you here, Tracy. Martin, please introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. Pleasure to be back as always. I love coming back. And my name is Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty. If you're looking for an off-market deal in the San Diego or North County area, look no further than Oak Rock. Here, me and my team, we really value the relationship we have with our buyers and our sellers. And with that being said, we really are trying to change the stigma behind wholesaling, how there's this negative light, how every single wholesaler is shady, untransparent, they're not even licensed. And we're trying to change the name of the game, shed light, which is widely looked down upon by other wholesalers, on how it is we make our money, how it is we find deals, how we source everything, and then make sure we keep as much money in your pocket, because at the end of the day, a happy client leads to them coming back. And obviously that's how we build our business. It's our volume, it's our relationship. So trying to do everything different. And so Oak Rock Realty, Martin Magana.
All right. Adib, man of the hour. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here. I'm very happy to be back. It's always a pleasure to come on, particularly in my industry as a contractor. My name's Adib Mahdi. I'm CEO of King Mahdi Builders. We're a design build firm. I didn't start out as a design build contractor. I started out like most contractors, being the third guy in a bid process for you. Everyone, has been told, get 3 bids. And I found that I was leaving a client behind because they could absolutely choose someone that had a lower number than me, but was not the proper contractor and did not get them what they were looking for. So with design build, we have architects, engineers, interior designers. We do everything from A to Z. And we make sure that 3 things happen for you: that the design and the ideas that you have are prevalent in everything we do. The codes that are monitoring and governing those ideas are in proper place, and that it meets your budget. And so as we go around those 3 principles with you, we hope and we always plan to get you what you're looking for at the codes that make it happen with the price that you can afford. And buying the real estate piece of this and getting through the professionals like Martin and Sandra to help you in those ways, and landing in my office as a contractor, is where you need to be most careful. And that's what we're here for to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to be fun. We have a whole group of, thank you so much for being part of the production team. So part of what we're doing is also introducing influencers in different areas of the country. We're obviously in San Diego. Currently, we're focusing on the North Inland portion. I mean, we all know real estate agents do business everywhere they can, but you absolutely want to work with folks who know what they're doing specifically in their backyard. So without further ado, let's introduce those other influencers, and we'll get the show started. Okay, well, the reason why we bring these influencers to you, as I mentioned, is because we want to introduce you to those folks who have no issue being live, educating, inspiring, empowering folks, and also just being a resource for anyone out there that are looking to do anything in real estate, whether it be San Diego or beyond. So I want to bring in, first off, before we go into that, let's thank our sponsor for today's segment.
Client has lived in the property for at least 2 years, right? And if they sell it, they have the 121 tax exclusion, right? It's either 250,000 or 500,000. But listen to this: if they turn it into a rental property, they've lived in it for 2 years, they turn it into a rental for 2 years, and before year 5, they turn around and sell it. Guess what? They have the benefit of both the 121 tax exclusion, the $500,000, and let's say it's a $1.5 million property that they're selling. The first $500,000 of that $1.5 million is tax-free, and the other $1 million, they can roll it into other properties, no tax.
Thank you so much, Chris. If you're wondering why Chris isn't here, he is sick. He is typically the primary host of the show. We all miss Chris, and hopefully you get better.
We miss you, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, without further ado, let's introduce our influencers, starting with Sandra Hooley. Sandra, thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself for everyone.
Thank you. Yes, Sandra Hooley with South State Next Gen Realty. I've been realtor for almost 19 years and also San Diego native. So I know all the good, the bad, the ugly of San Diego. I'm a retired probation officer, so I really know the good, the bad, the ugly of San Diego. Thank you for having me.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Sandra. Looking forward to hearing your insights about our today's topic. Next, Winston, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Winston here, founder of Casita ADU. We are a full-service ADU company in the whole entire state. We're proud to offer numerous services in the whole entire San Diego area, but here to provide a lot of value to a lot of people and just for everybody to learn a little more about our company.
Absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely. We'll learn a lot, hopefully, Winston. Thank you so much for being here. Last but not least, Jim, thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks, Coach Rue, for having me, and hello, audience, and happy holidays. So, yeah, Jim Sprouse with Ember Pro Wildfire Defense. We do primarily 3 things, which we will probably get into a little bit today. We assess properties, right? So wildfires, when Palisades happened, it changed everything. We know where it's at. People are probably looking at investing in certain areas, high wildfire zones, and other approaches to the market have changed because of that. Insurance has been a tremendous issue. So we come in, we work with consumers. The 3 things we do is we'll assess the property for wildfire dangers, risks, and how to mitigate properly. The second thing we do is install full wildfire defense systems on and or around homes that are also recognized by underwriters on insurance. And the last thing is, if it's not a permanent home, we'll do a spray service, which will give a really good peace of mind for people, especially during seasonal. Well, we're in La Nina right now, right? So there's a little bit of anxiety around fires if people have been around it or in it. So that's how we are approaching the market and finding solutions. We're just passionate about saving structures from burning down.
Amazing. Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Jim. Really appreciate you. And I'm super excited to get into this topic. As we all know, and you all agree, you guys touch different parts of construction in several different angles, and it's going to be great to get all your insights. Without further ado, let's transition into our first segment, our LEARNin Local Insights. Okay, so one thing I want to mention about our insights is the reason why we do it is, have you ever heard a piece of news and you're thinking whether or not, or you're wondering whether or not it's fake news? Well, the whole point of LEARNin Local Insights is to talk about news and topics that allow us to bring our subject matter experts to really comment on it, so you understand whether the information you're getting is legitimate or not legitimate. So doing this on a live basis really changes the game, really makes everything transparent, and then in that case, everybody wins. So that is the reason why we do our LEARNin Local Insights. And today's segment is sponsored by Farmers Insurance. So let's just play a quick promo for them.
Protection that puts you first. Your home and your family deserve security, stability, and peace of mind. For every mile, every moment, every memory in motion. Because every drive deserves to get you home safely. Comprehensive solutions that safeguard your operations, assets, and future. Farmers Insurance. Because your life deserves protection that truly matters.
Okay, well, Adib Mahdi,
Yes.
King Mahdi Builders, thank you so much for being here today. I really want to hand the mic over to you so you can start our segment for today. How to analyze real estate construction options. So please take it away, and we will have a great discussion.
Yes, thanks a lot, Coach. It's always a pleasure, as I said, to be here. Real estate construction and the different options you have. Basically, what I'd like to share with the group, and I have the team of experts on with me, and we can get some comments from them as well, is that you want to look at whether this is a commercial construction project you may be involved with, or it's a real estate residential project that you're looking to buy, to invest in, to remodel, or even to build ground up. My team of people have always, been able to accommodate anyone's desire in the construction business. We can do ground up. We have the architects in the office. We have the interior designers, the engineers, the whole spiel. But in whatever type of product, whatever type of property you want to build or work on, there are some basic things that you want to keep in mind. Your planning. When you're doing your planning, for instance, on the type of property you have and what you want to do, I call planning is the same as planning to determine your profits. Planning for profits. You want a clear plan that prevents delays, manages your expectations on what you are trying to achieve. You want to avoid all the surprise costs. Construction is the kind of thing, especially when you're buying older properties or you're remodeling properties, there's always a surprise. I call it like having a wedding. No matter how well you plan it, something's going to happen, and it's always unforeseen and unexpected. But that is when you have good planning around that, and initially those type of road bumps that come up are easier to handle. And if you're dealing with professionals that have had experience in those types of things, and believe me, I've seen all kinds of things, then you can see the way to get around it. You can almost project when something is going to happen, and then you can, avoid the surprises, hopefully. So planning for profits is one of the key things when you first start out with your real estate investment, right?
Absolutely.
I would imagine that you come across.
Got to start out with the plan. So, Sandra, Jim, I'll pass it off to you. What would you want to? What kind of?
I'll take that. I think profits are very important, right? And your profits typically come when you sell the home, right? You sell the asset. So I think the idea as well is planning. And I think, Adib started off talking about the planning aspect of it. There's a lot to it. Codes aren't just going to cover it. There's a lot to do. So our approach is we're planning also for the inevitable wildfires, right? Whether you believe there's global warming or not, the fact of the matter is there's actually more fires in the Arctic right now than ever. It's kind of crazy. You don't think there'll ever be a fire. There actually are. So
global warming is crazy.
It's crazy. Whether you believe, whatever it is, the fact of the matter is it's heating up and it's causing more of these conflagration events. And with that, I feel like the planning is really important. And then you pay particular attention to your building codes around hardening the homes and defensible space. So planning is, huge.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
100%.
And along with that, of course, and I'm sure Sandra has some comments on this because she's dealing with people that are, trying to invest in properties and that types of things. But I always also advise after planning is that you do what we do as pros. You budget like a professional investor. Even if you're just a start out person, this is your first property, you've never done this before. There are some things that the professionals on this circuit here, this panel, will advise you. And that is budget like a professional investor. Include your hard costs, include soft costs, include holding costs. Make contingencies in your budget for buffer things, the surprises that I was talking about. So those things are very important as well to sort of insulate your investment right off the bat. Be a professional. Get professionals and approach it in a professional way.
100%.
Right? I think, Sandra, you would probably agree with that.
Sandra, you want to make a comment on that? Must have having some technical difficulties.
I would make a little comment while she's come back on is on the budgeting side of it, really important. If you're talking about if there's new build, certainly you have to pay attention to the codes, but there's also when you retrofit and you go back and you refurbish a home, and it's depending on the local authority, the authority having jurisdiction, if you go over a certain threshold, then you also have to abide by the codes that will then require defensible space and hardening, which is also a budgetary item, especially around a single pane window or non-tempered. Like there's some significant cost basis if you're not a Class A roof or cladding. I'll just put that out there too in the budgeting side on top of the regular routine construction.
100%.
Exactly.
I think Sandra's back. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, am I going out in and out? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, freezing out then. But I was just asking or just playing off to you that planning and protecting your project with right planning from the beginning is super important.
Really important, yes, because it's the most money you're going to be spending probably your whole life. So you have to plan. If you have children or if you don't have children, if you have family members that need to stay with you. Sometimes you have to sell a house in order to find something else in order for your family to come back together and take care of your elderly, parents. We've been seeing that a lot, especially in San Diego where the weather is so wonderful that, family are coming together and the price of homes are, a little bit more out of budget, and so families are coming together, so they need to plan for everything and to help out the family.
Construction wise, selling a house, my advice in there is permits protect your investment. Whenever you start to plan these things, you don't want to skip around the permits or the proper planning because that ultimately reduces your resale value, and it may even void insurance that you may have on the property or insurance claims. So as a professional and dealing with professionals, get the advice, don't skip any corners, don't cut any corners, get the full permits. I had a client once that wanted to build something, but he wanted to do it without permits. I'm like, what are you talking about? Permits are going to cost you $3,000 for your permits for what he was doing, but look at what it would decrease as far as the value of his property if he did it improperly.
100%. Winston, what do you say about that? We want to get everyone involved in the conversation.
Yes, I mean the subject of permits. Thank you. The permits. The subject of permits is always debatable. We often in all of our paths, we find clients that have done a lot of projects without permits, and we just have to take in consideration how long this is going to take, how the city is going to be able to take on this project. Is it worth the time? Because sometimes it drags.
Right.
But with proper planning, like they were mentioning, you can avoid all that.
Right. And possible code violations.
Exactly.
What would it do to the insurance? Guys,
Really don't want that.
Would it alter the insurance and a payout if a structure was taken and they weren't up to code? Would that be a negative consequence to get people to conduct themselves with the correct behavior?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Just, with proper planning from the beginning, it's always going to be the best way to approach any sort of project.
Yeah,
but we're here to help a lot of people. We're here to help, even if they're buying a property that has active either code enforcement or missing some permits. We always, as our profession, we always come across them, and we try to do our best to try to get them to the other side.
Exactly. I mean, this show is about investments, and anything with investment is going to require you to be patient and require you to have a long-term view on it. And permits, simple thing is that protects your investment. Quite simple.
The equity.
And the equity.
Added equity.
Going forward. And then the other part of that is whenever I finally get a client through permitting process, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, whatever it may be, they always enjoy the fact that it was done correctly afterwards. And, the timeline is the next thing that helps me as a builder, because now once I have permits, we have a schedule. There's no guesswork about what we're doing. I can project timelines on what it's going to take to build this and to do this. And in that timeline, we can also agree on costs and on the cost savings, and that's beneficial. Staying on schedule is one of the best ways to protect your net profit with the project. You don't want it to go too far. You don't want it to go, not being done correctly. So that's important as well.
Hey, really quick. I know we have a section for live questions later on the show, but I feel like I want to address these questions as they're coming up. We're getting a lot of good questions. And the question that just came up was something that you just addressed: is how do you handle delays, changes, and cost overruns? So I want to give everyone kind of a moment.
Okay, Coach. Looked like Coach froze that time. Let me just throw in my reaction to that. First of all, is how do you handle that? Is that you have to initially be focused on the cost overrun, and the way you handle any potential cost overruns is upfront. It's communications. There are going to be things that the contractor is going to run into. I open up a wall and the entire wall is rotted out because of termites that have been living in that place rent-free for 20 years, then I have to rebuild that thing. So the unforeseen is what comes up. And if there's a communication with the client, a lot of times I'll bring the client right there and say, hey, your wall is eaten up by termites. Here's what we have to do. So the surprise of overruns and all of those things can be mitigated when there's communication and there's understanding and there's transparency. That's how you handle it. You can't avoid it when it happens. Now, if there's something along the lines of your contractor not working or not being on the job every day, that's a different story. That's why you need to call King Marty. But that's what typically happens. That's how you handle it. There's going to be some
change orders. People hate change orders. They don't want it. If it's predictable and you didn't find it, shame on you. It's your fault.
Exactly.
And you're not going to get the referral out of it, and you're going to have an upset customer.
I'm doing a project in Del Cerro right now, and we just listed our change orders last night. Change orders came up to $25,000. There's about 8 of them, but they were everything the client wanted. I didn't predict them out. I didn't forecast them. He said, hey, I want to take the thing out and put a gas line for my heater. So communication, that's how you handle it. 100%.
Sandra and Winston, I know you guys work together, so communication has to probably be important, utmost importance. You guys are, work. What's that thing called? Work married. A work marriage?
Yes.
Work wife.
My
work wife.
husband.
Yes. How do you handle communication
I mean, that's a huge aspect of our team.
Honest.
It's not just the communication itself. Is how do we how do we get information from the source? How do we transfer that into paper? How do we get it back to the city? How do we communicate that to the contractor? How we properly do that on the plans? So it's like so many type of communications aspect of a project itself. But again, I think we have mastered this a little bit because we currently are building homes in Panama from here.
Nice.
That's
Very
quite
nice.
So building, having a whole entire team in another country doing the same thing. The communication that we gotta have has to be like to the next level.
100%.
So,
Transparent, transparent, and also, look at all sides. I'm a boomer, he's a lot younger, and my experience of seeing things, throughout the years, I will say something. I'll say, no, that's not correct, or, look at it this way. Everybody has to have, that open mind, of communication, transparency, honesty. Even if we, debate about it, argue a little bit about it, but
we argue every day.
we argue, so we do. but it's okay. It's okay because we're still here. We look at both sides. We look at all sides, actually. Number one is the client. We have to listen to the client. And at
the end of the day, like we always say, at the end of the day, we know we did it right by doing our part
for them.
Exactly.
And when you guys argue, I was going to say, when you guys argue through the problems, the benefit is to the customer, right? Because you've already beat it all up ahead of time, and you brought the best solution to the table. We have a core value, 4 core values in our company. One of them is meritocracy. And with meritocracy, the root word is merit. And we always say, look, if you got a problem, bring it to the table, but you got to have your facts. You got to be prepared. We'll listen, but you got to argue it out, and you got to argue it merit-based with facts. And then let's have it out. Those opinions are heard, because the customer is always going to win when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. The point that we're making here, collectively for our audience's benefit, is that you're listening to pros. And pros are those individuals who've weathered all of the situations, who've gone through all the storms, who've worked out solutions for clients that have had similar problems to yours, because no problem is unique in a sense. And so when you work with a group of pros and you have the right pros that are on your project, you'll get the best workforce and you'll get the best productivity for your particular project. And that's key, because all of that working together reserves your profit. It saves a lot of time. It keeps you in front of any issues that may come up, whether you're flipping, renting, building new. I had a similar situation as Jim is talking about. We did an 18-patient medical clinic in Arizona. We modeled it. I'm here in San Diego. We did that entire project with pros that were on that end. So when I speak to them, when they give me timelines and when we talk, I know that their efficiency and their experience is going to win the day. And that's how we completed the project. And that's what you want to do. You want to surround yourself with pros. This show is a heck of a thing because you're putting pros on the front line live to talk to you about what you could run into, the issues you'll find, and the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
So thanks, Coach, for having this thing put together, my man.
Of course, it's amazing. Yeah, no, it's always a great conversation. And we can go into diving into like working with the pros and why it's so important. But that's really generally the whole theme of the show, is that you always have to work with people that you can trust, and also feel good about really just investing your hard-earned money into. So we'll continue to have our subject matter experts chime in, but we really want to get into our next segment of the show, which is really going to bring in some real deals, talk about some real construction options that people might need and might have. So let's transition into our deal segment.
All right, excellent.
Uh-oh.
You're on mute.
About that? Hey guys, it's Martin Magana. I'll be hosting the Learning Local deal as always. But before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Revolution Capital. Thank you, Ruben, for that. And thank you, Revolution Capital, for always sponsoring the segment and being one of the go-to lenders in San Diego for any of your investment or traditional real estate needs. That being said, let's get started with our first segment, the investor tip of the week, where I'll be talking about something I've seen or I'm actively seeing going on in real estate that could be a learning moment for everybody that either I went through or one of my clients went through. So in this case, it's about going over the inexperience of certain agents and how that can get you sued. So we had a property, it was a few months ago, but this is an active thing going on right now where it was condemned. There was marijuana use in the back. There was a bunch of stuff in the property, junk, everything. It sold, it went through, everything was properly disclosed. But what we really want to focus here is the disclosures. So the agent forgot a lot of the disclosures. He kind of just looked at it. He just kind of signed it, didn't really go through it properly, like the way you're meant to do his due diligence. And then our person, they went through, they saw marijuana use, checked it, everything disclosed, everything transparent, like Sandra was saying. Make sure if you know it, put it out, because the moment you lie about it, you're basically screwed, because you are going to be liable for the damage. So after the other person bought the property off of them, they did an ozone test for the methamphetamine use just because of the odor in the basement, and it came back positive. So there was not just marijuana use, but a bunch of meth and a bunch of other drugs being cooked up in the basement. And with that, because we had our disclosures in place, everything was checked thoroughly. When they tried to sue the client because of all that use, we were protected, but the agent didn't know that that was even a thing that was signed off. So it just goes to show, make sure you're working with experienced people, or at the very least, the agent you're using yourself, because sometimes you can't control who you are doing the other transaction with. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, make sure you're going through all your disclosures, and always be transparent, because if he had lied or just forgotten that little check right there, they would have been out $500,000. So make sure you do your due diligence. And with that, let's get right into the deal.
Perfect.
So we're going to be going over to El Cajon for this one. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, a little over 2,000 square feet, sitting on just under a 10K lot. It is a 1960 build, has never been renovated, 2 garage spaces, and it's a pretty straightforward fix in terms of what you have to do. It's going to be top-bottom remodel, new kitchen, new bathroom, a lot of landscaping, and then most of the big ticket items will need to be replaced. The roofing is 50-50. It really depends on where you want to go. The water tank, the garage motor. But the main thing I want to focus on is the landscaping. That's kind of where a lot of the work needs to be done, because it's a lot of sloping landscape. And that being said, there's going to be a little, what do you call them? The escrow holdback while the tenant moves out. But that being said, I'd like to open up to you guys, see what you guys see with the construction. What do you guys think of the sloping? And some of the design choices you would make here, the permitting options, all that.
I rent that car.
Does the house come with the car? That's the question. So the original construction was 1960?
Yes.
Yes. So then you'd probably definitely want to check all of the basic things like you just said. You already mentioned the roof is one of the major issues. The major issues are simple: your roof, your electrical, your plumbing, right? And then if you can, you want to have an inspection, especially on something 1960 with asbestos, lead, or any of those types of things. Once you have the basis covered, then it's a matter of clearing out, making sure that there's no termite damage that can cause some change orders, and that's how you would approach it. Get a professional person that can go in and analyze that for you down to those levels. Do cameras, do whatever it needs or whatever tools they have to analyze it, and then you can sit back and make a plan. Yeah.
And one thing with the asbestos is a lot of people don't realize this, that when you have popcorn ceilings, right, it can go from a 2-3 grand job to 8 to 10 grand just because of the asbestos in the popcorn ceiling, which a lot of people don't account for. And then all of a sudden they're spending 8 grand because they got hazard just for scraping the ceiling. So
exactly. And what we would do, and you don't want to leave, an investor doesn't want to leave themselves too wide open to, any kind of expenses, or I would even say extravagant expenses when you're looking at an investment. If it's going to be an investment, what is your goal with the investment? Keep that in mind, and that'll also sort of curtail some of your expenses and some of your ideas about what you do. You may want to have a simple kitchen cabinet frame situation, simple flooring, simple bathroom fixtures, these types of things. So in the design build out piece, what is the goal? Possibly what is the budget you want to spend? We always say, how much lipstick and powder you want to put on it. And then go from there, basically go from there.
Wow. Sandra, Winston, all you chime in.
Research
like they were mentioning, just like a feasibility study. You just come in, just find out what you want to be. You just want to do. It's very important to have one of those done. You never know what if there's some sort of easements in the back. It can be flat and it can be clear. It could have a slope and whatever, but you never know what's under the ground. So having a little bit of a study always helps give a little bit of a picture of what you're walking into, and just going from there. But once you find that piece for the investor, for the homeowner, then the next picture comes up, like what I want to do with this property, how this permitting is going to look like. I'm going to tear this down, or am I just going to do a simple remodel? Yeah,
this is just so valuable. I just wish when I was actually flipping homes, like I actually had access to you, to everyone here. It's just amazing. Well, Sandra, I'm sorry, you were saying, Sandra?
Well, first of all, you need to research and get the comps and see if that house is even worth your time. So, at 670, that's not bad. But there's no backyard. It's a slope. There's so many things that you have to look into this, and who's living next door. If you have somebody that's working on 20 cars, you don't want to. No offense to El Cajon. I love El Cajon. I love all of San Diego. But if you have somebody, that's working on 20 cars, or if you have, certain things in the neighborhood, it's anybody and everybody can look at pictures. Okay. You can see this gorgeous home. Okay. 670. Oh my God. But your next door neighbor, you don't know what's going on there. You don't know if there's 50 dogs, you don't know if there's a school right across the street. Of course, you can look at that. You need to go to the house. You need to, look at everything going on. What we first saw was, rip out that kitchen, rip out walls. You need to, put out a deck, in the backyard to make more space. There's a lot of things to consider, to see if it's a good deal or not. And I like to see for myself in person before I send anything to one of my investors. Right. I want to see, I don't want them wasting their time. And that's my job. That's my job to go, check it out, see if it's a good investment, see if it's worth their time, and then send it over to them. I know, time is of the essence, because a lot of times there's going to be a lot of other people that are hungry right now. But if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And I'm not going to have my people come in, putting 670 down and then looking, $200,000 more. So now you got a $900,000, in a possible $900,000 neighborhood. It wouldn't make sense.
The comps and just everything around that area is so important. But kind of going off of that, but pivoting a little bit, I have one question for Jim that I've been thinking about the whole time is how often are you seeing kind of like these investment level quality builds getting the fire prevention systems, or do you typically only see them in the newer builds?
No, I was going to hit on that. It's the AHJ, right? So your authority having jurisdiction, you got to look. And if it's range, if you're putting in more than 10% of the value, and some others might have different, then you are going to look at your cladding. You're going to, it has to be Class A. Your roof is going to be, you are looking at, it could be some significant expenses to keep up with 7A. 7A has been around, I think, since 2008, but now it's part of the CWUEC code. The state in its infinite wisdom is always changing things, but there's these very specific codes that you got to have that home hardened, and that could be a significant cost as well, especially on the cladding. I didn't quite see the cladding, the roof. It sounds like it's a mess.
Right.
The vents,
Right.
the windows have got to be double pane tempered. I mean, you could be looking at extra $5-6 grand. There's a lot that goes into
Right.
That's why I was asking the first question from the 60s.
Right.
To keep
And we're
up the
talking
code
about
right now.
this
Plus,
one.
you're going to have your defensible space.
Right. We're talking about this one. It's
Sorry.
on a slope, so it could be next to a canyon. So a canyon already, is,
Well,
a fire.
That's defensible space. So
Possible.
you look at,
Yeah.
then you go into AB 3074, and then you have to have 5 feet, which is fine. Everyone can do 5 feet. Non-ignition, including your fence, which isn't that much more of a cost. You're going to have to replace that. Maybe they had a brand new wooden fence just put in. Guess what? You're replacing probably $1,000. Yeah, all that defensible space. It's there's considerations here.
Right.
All right, let's have one last comment from Adib about the construction, and then we'll have to move on to events. Adib?
Yeah, and what I was going to say is that the comments and the advice that we're giving right now is for the new investor, in a sense. It's for someone that hasn't done this before, and we're giving them the beware signs. But for the experienced investor, his key thing is going to be all of those conditions. He'll already know because he's done that before. But then it's going to be timelines, it's going to be comps, it's going to be the other things that are at the end of that whole process that he's going to be more concerned about. And again, that's where you want to employ professionals that can give you all of that comp real estate information, can give you all of the construction details, and then you can make but you can make a reasonable, wise decision. So either way, if you're a new person getting into this for the first time, these are great warning signs. If you're an experienced guy that buys and flips all the time, then you want the bottom line, and you want the bottom line from this group of professionals.
Really appreciate that, Adib.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, there's so much. Time flies when you're having fun, right? That's the way it goes. You guys obviously love talking about your expertise.
We're passionate about it.
We're gonna move on to events and get to answer any last live questions that we had. So let's transition to our LEARNin Local events. You're on mute.
Mike.
And here we go again. Tracy Hassey, Super Connector with Ticor Escrow Services. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, the LEARNin Local events. We are going to clue you into some hot things happening here in San Diego, where a lot of the influencers on the podcast are you will get to meet them live time. So before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor. I have a question for you. How are you safeguarding your real estate deals? Let's talk, let's connect, and I'm here to educate and share some insights that you may not be aware of. So once again, Tracy Hassey, Ticor Escrow Services. We are the leaders at safeguarding and protecting your clients' money and information from wire fraud and cybercrime. We have the financial strength. We are a Fortune 300 company, and we have the experts, the escrow officers, the escrow teams that know what they're doing with 25 to 35, 40 years of experience. We are here for your success. Yay, Ticor Escrow Services. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to launch right into some of our upcoming events. We, with this 6-week revolutionizing real estate investing has been so fun. So I'm going to encourage you to look at all the episodes and, of course, be on our upcoming episode on December 12th, how to protect your real estate investment and close the deal. We're going to take it to the finish line. So that is a week from today, 11 a.m. And then the following week, we have December 19th, how to build wealth beyond your first real estate investment and more. And even if you are a pro investor, there's always going to be nuggets of wisdom, golden nuggets of wisdom you're going to learn from our experts here on the show at LEARNin Local Live. And I've got a couple more because, we are in the holiday season, and I want to hear from any of you that might have events that we didn't share. But tonight, I live in Coronado. We have the Coronado Chamber of Commerce presents the 50th annual Coronado Holiday Parade and tree lighting, and it starts at 6 p.m. at 8th and Orange. It's always a ton of fun and so festive, always a good time. And then the San Diego Association of Realtors, SDAR.com, you can go to the website. They always host an incredible it's the SDAR Holiday House, and it's going to be at a luxury estate in Rancho Santa Fe on December 10th. That is next Wednesday. And all proceeds to benefit Operation Homefront Ambassador Foundation. So it's always for such a great cause, and it is first class all the way, a ton of fun. And the most exciting part, we get to connect in person. Deals are being put together, referrals being made. So we all get to edify each other and introduce each other to each other's networks. And it is so much fun. Have any of you been to that SDAR Holiday House?
I'll be there this year.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Love it.
It's an event you don't want to miss, right?
We're going.
Yay. Even just to wrap up the year, there's always, if you're not familiar, all the real estate associations throughout San Diego County, from SDAR to PSAR, NSDCAR. There's REBA in La Jolla, CREA in Coronado, PREA in Point Loma. I mean, wherever you are in San Diego, more than likely you're going to find a real estate association hosting a broker caravan meeting and a private broker caravan where we get to preview the homes and connect. So it's a ton of fun, and we get to see each other in person. It's my favorite part.
One thing that I will say about the events, Tracy, is that it's so important because, I feel like in this day and age, at least when I was networking, I would meet people in person first.
Yeah.
And then choose to talk over the phone, or, you know what I mean? Do a Google Meet, whatever. Now we're encouraging them to meet us online first, and then meet us in person if they want to continue the conversation and the relationship. So we're really just revolutionizing the game here at LEARNin Local. We have so many questions. We want to get to the live Q&A. That is the great part of the foundational part of why this show exists, is because people can ask questions and we can answer them. We have the pros and experts. So I'm just going to rally off. We have, obviously our host was sick, but not too sick to ask questions. So I'm going to just pick and choose the ones we have, only because I feel like it is pertinent. Room for an ADU. So I'm assuming that Chris was asking about whether there was room for an ADU on the off-market deal. So Martin, you want to mention it? You want to?
I would say no, but just purely because of the sloping. You might be able to cram one in there, but with the slope and the extensive permitting you might need, I don't think it's the highest and best use, especially because on that road, there's not too many ADUs, if any at all. So in this case, it's more of a traditional fix and flip. But if you do consider adding an ADU, not on this property, but on anything you do, make sure you consult people like Sandra, like Winston, who know what they're doing, and make sure you look into things like you're going to wait for permitting. You're going to wait for the build. Sometimes you got to wait until even start building. So just make sure you know all the information before you get started, so you don't get stuck waiting for everything.
100%. All right, I'm gonna just go rapid fire here.
Sandra, I got to answer for that one.
Go ahead.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. By the way, Sandra, please. It's Sandra, not Sandra. But anyway, the 2-car garage. Bam, garage conversion all day long.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one with that 2-car garage. Because then I get that car.
Absolutely. Everyone's talking about the car. It's a good point. So another question that I wanted to bring up here, very general question. We were talking about permits. How long does it take for permits to be approved at the current moment? Adib, let's have you answer that first from your experience.
We just got permits on Monday that we had put into the system it was 7 months ago. So, and I'm talking San Diego. So we've been averaging somewhere between 6 and 9 with, simple construction. We try to put the plans or design the plans, with constructability in mind and what the reviewers in the city would be looking for. We advise clients on that and try and cut that timeline down. But 6 to 9 months is what we're averaging.
Oh, wow. You guys agree, Winston, Sandra?
Yeah, well, yes, all depends on the type of project, but yeah, that's
Project
a pretty
and
good
city.
Timeline. So yeah, 6 to 9,
City,
4 to
city,
10.
city, county. I
Yeah,
mean,
city, county.
it depends on the city, of course.
Depends on the type of project.
And
Yes.
type of project. We've seen garage conversions
How complex,
within 2
how
months.
small, all depends.
Mhm.
I have gotten a permit for an ADU in 2 months.
Yeah.
So all depends on the type of project and how proper the design is done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Jim, we have a question specifically for you. What's the cost of fire protection for that home? That was well, you guesstimated. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean,
2K square feet and site slope on the exterior.
Yeah, I mean, to install, so there's a couple of solutions, right? First of all is getting up the code and making it wildfire ready with 7A and defensible space. After that, if they were to choose, say, one of our wildfire defense systems, just a general quote for people, we say between $8 to $12 per square foot of house. So roughly $10 per square foot, maybe 20,000, something like that. But there are some caveats to that. We just got done with a Santa Luz build this past week where we did it was all trenched in the ground and the system actually pointed around towards the house. Because again, if your house is Class A, you're not going to worry about that from burning down unless you're in very direct flames. Everything we do is around embers. So that's how we protect the homes. And the cost is, just for general rule of thumb, if people are interested in wildfire defense systems, $10 per square foot of house, but that can vary depending. Like if you have a horse property, we did an alpaca farm one time. There's other things. People may just, want to look at their evacuation routes. There's a lot of things to it, but general rule, $10 per square foot.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you so much. We have so many other questions, except I just do not want to go past the hour to respect everyone's time. Just really I'm going to say one last thing. Again, we're all here to connect, collaborate, and create. I think we all did an amazing job creating a great basis of knowledge for anyone that might be interested in investing in their very first property. If you want to join our team of experts who are making this possible, please join the school by going to learninlocal.com, and you can essentially join us and be on a future show. We would love to have you. But you have to be on par with these amazing elite guests that we have. And then lastly, I just wanted to give each of our new guests 15 seconds to say how they felt about being on the show. Really appreciate you all. Sandra, thank you so much for being. This is your first time being on LEARNin Local Live. How was this experience for you?
Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. I mean, I know Tracy for 15, over 15 years. And so you were talking about, getting in person, that's very important. You got to read the person that you want to work with, So all these people that you have here, we can talk all day, but in person is very important. It's wonderful to be one-on-one. We went to Lazy Dog and had dinner together for our first. But this is a wonderful experience, and I truly appreciate us being invited to this, and all the everybody else on here. I can hardly work with.
Thank you so much.
Everybody on this team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Winston. Really quick.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a great experience. Thank you. First time here. I love it. The value that we've been able to share between all everybody here is it's amazing for everybody out there. And again, I had just an amazing experience and can't wait to meet you all. And I mean, the people that I haven't met in person, I look forward to meeting you.
Appreciate it, Winston. Jim?
Yeah, great experience, guys. I really like the educational value you're putting out there. And my last words to everybody listening, watching. is that it takes everybody's individual efforts to create a community where we're fire safe, and everybody's got to do their part. There's a free download on our website of a comprehensive guide. Everyone participate and everyone go out there and keep us all safe, and we appreciate that. Thank you for Coach Rue for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And Adib, thank you again for spearheading the construction conversation. Last words from you.
Well, I think just the collaboration with professionals like this improves the entire landscape for not only the consumer, but for us as professionals as well, because we all hold a certain level of integrity that we work by, live by, and deal with our clients on. And the more we can spread that and infuse that to the San Diego marketplace, the better it is for everybody.
Well, thank you so much, Adib. Really appreciate it. And Tracy, Martin, I love you guys. So really thank you so much for being here, even though you didn't get a last word. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. Make sure you tune in because we will teach you how to protect your investment and close that first deal. My name is Ruben, Coach Rue from LEARNin Local Live. Until next week, take it.